Yeah, guys, welcome back to another Weekly Tales episode. Um, so I think, yeah. Okay, so here we go. So let's do. I was about Story of Hannibal. The Unfulfilled Oath. The First Punic War ended when the Carthaginians were finally forced out of Sicily and had to admit defeat. The truce was followed by 20 years of uneasy peace. During that time, Rome looked across the Mediterranean, apprehensively watching Carthage for signs of rebellion, while Carthage, smoldering with resentment, eyed Rome with hatred. So one thing that I want to say fast is any background noise that I feel like maybe picked up is because of two fans I have in this room. Because I have a kind of poor circulation of AC. Because I think at the moment it's kind of facing the sun. So sunny. And let's continue. I only one hated Rome as much as Amicula. Colleges, I'm ableist on general, I'm sorry. Waiting for a time when Carthage would be avenged and her prestige restored. He solemnly taught himself patience and lived on bitterness. In the meanwhile, he led expeditions on the parts of northern Africa, and took his troops across the narrow Strait of Gibraltar and colonized more than half of Spain. He brought his small, dark-skinned son, Hannibal, with him wherever he went, always reminding him to detest anything Roman. When the boy was 9, he saw Amicula offer its sacrifice for victory. Hannibal stood near the altar, watching and wondering. His father then turned to his son. I am going on a long and hard expedition. I should send you back to Carthage, said Amicula, but I am not certain whether you will be whether you will be happy or safe at home or in danger with me. What do you say? Let me go with you, answered Hannibal quickly. You know, I'm not afraid. I know, but I wanted you to say it. I want you to know all the trials and terrors of war and what they may lead to. Here, he said, taking Hannibal's right arm. Place your hand upon the sacrifice and take the solemn oath. Repeat these words after me. I swear to be the enemy of all Romans. I swear to keep my hate alive. I swear never to rest until Rome has been put down and destroyed. It is a large oath for a little boy, perhaps too large. Do you think you can remember it? When Hannibal looked at his father, it was not with the look of a 9-year-old boy. I was not a 9-year-old, and I just oh no. I swear to be the enemy of all Romans, repeated Hannibal. I swear to keep my hate alive. I swear I'll never to rest until Rome has been put down and destroyed. I will not forget. Hannibal never forgot. He was 18 when his father was killed fighting in Spain. After that, he shared a command of the troops with Amhaz Robel, his brother-in-law Then, when Hasdrubal was slain, he became the chief. He was 26 when he besieged the city Sagatem, or Saguntem. Saguntem was under the protection of Rome, and in answer to an appeal, Rome sent an envoy cautioning Hannibal to respect the protectorate and warning him against attacking the city. Rome, he added, will consider it a declaration of war if Hannibal should ever cross the Ebro River. Hannibal ignored the warning. City consuls told the envoy that I shall take the Saguntem. Then tell them that it is only a beginning. I shall go through Spain, cross over all the mountains, and march on Rome. And I will not be stopped. The Romans were angry, but not too alarmed. And they told themselves that Hannibal's threat was mere boasting, that his army could never cross the impassable barrier of the Alps. That was the braggart. That the braggart would be stopped if he ever advanced too far. For 8 months, Hannibal faced Saguntem. It was a long and seemingly endless siege. His troops were poorly fed. They ran out of provisions after the country around them had been stripped. They longed for the good things of Carthage. Hannibal worked with his men, helped with the meanest laborers, dug trenches with his own hands. And finally, Saguntem fell. The town was looted, and the soldiers refreshed themselves for a few weeks. Then Hannibal reorganized his men, moved north, and the Second Punic War began. It started with some 30,000 foot soldiers and less than 6,000 horsemen. But when he gathered recruits from Carthage's many provinces from Gaul, Rome's northern enemy, and captives from Spanish towns. By the time Hannibal crossed the Ebro, he was a mighty army, a formidable mixture of black men and brown, trained the native troops, eager youths from Carthage, sullen Spaniards, half-naked Gauls. There were now 90,000 infantry, 12,000 cavalry, long trains of wagons with horses and pack mules, and 40 of the largest elephants, to be found in Africa. All along the way there were battles, but nothing could stop the advance of the great army. The elephants presented an official problem. They were used to wading small streams, but they balked at the rapid river currents. Hannibal solved the dilemma. He had rafts constructed and fastened to the bank so that they projected across the water. Then the floats were quickly covered with mud so that they seemed a continuation of the road. Led by trained female elephants, the huge but docile beasts went across. A few became panic-stricken and plunged into the stream, but they managed to swim ashore. The columns went on doggedly. As the army advanced, difficulties increased. Rome sent troops to harass the expedition. Local tribes attacked from the rear. Hannibal shook them all off. His column, 20 miles long, pushed their way through dangerous passes, toiled along roads that shrunk to thin and treacherous paths, climbed over hills that hid and concealed raiders who hurled rocks and boulders at them. Nothing could deter Hannibal, and nothing threatened to stop him until he came to the Alps. The ascent was terrifying, the descent was worse. As the army climbed, snow fell. It snowed continually. The roads were ice, and the paths narrow and wound along the side of cliffs that had a sheer drop of 1,000 feet. Men and beasts slipped on the icy surface or were buried in snowdrifts. Hundreds were lost in the deep gullies and precipices. Or precipice, which I heard somewhere. Like at least I thought that I thought somewhere that precipices, that precipice, the precipice in form is precipi, or not precipi rather, but I completely forget who I heard it from and like how long I heard it ago. But I mean, anyway. The elephants suffered most. There was no green fodder, no trees for browsing, no place to lie down. Accustomed to the warm sands of Africa, they could barely withstand the risen cold. They trumpeted in fear and bellowed with pain. Many of them perished. It took 9 days of slow torture to get under the top. By the time the summit was reached, Hannibal had lost half of his forces, which would probably end up being about 45,000 foot soldiers and I think it said and 6,000 cavalry. That's still judging by saying that I lost half the force, and that would reduce his columns down to 10 miles long instead of 20. Assuming that's actually accurate, which I mean. Anyway, the remainder dragged themselves painfully. The beasts had been driven almost beyond their endurance. The men were downcast and desperate. Hannibal refused to be disheartened. We had done what no army has ever done before. He told his troops. We have surmounted the impossible civil barrier. I mean, it's still a long way down, buddy. We will make a 2-day pause here, then go on a weekly reward for what we have endured. Look, he pointed down to under the distant valley. There, beyond the Alps lies Italy. There lies Rome. 5 months have passed since Hannibal had started from his base in Spain. A few days after descending from the Alps into fertile fields, he encountered the spearhead of the Roman armies. This was at Trebia. Here the Romans were led by a skilled troop of cavalry, which proved to be their undoing. The horses, frightened not only by the sight of the elephants, but by the strange smell of these monsters, screamed, threw their riders, and bolted wildly through the lines. The whole front was thrown into disorder, and the Romans lost the first combat. The elephants served Hannibal well on another occasion. Fabius, the Roman general, realizing he cannot overthrow Hannibal in a pitched battle, devised a strategy of slowing down his advance, cutting down his reinforcements and hemming him in. He succeeded in bottling up a great part of Hannibal's army in a ravine. There he intended to hold them until they starved or surrendered. But Hannibal was equal to the emergency. One night, as soon as it grew dark, he sent a dozen of the large elephants against on the enemy. The beasts' heads were painted to make them look frightful. Belts clanged along their sides. Their tusks were sharpened. On their backs were fastened small wooden towers from which men flung down bombed javelins. Well, I was gonna say that the picture for this story is that, but I mean it's kind of close. The elephants charged, roaring with rage. When a pass had been cleared, Hannibal completed his strategy. He had several hundred oxen with flaming torches tied to their horns and driven down the pass. Maddened by the sparks that dropped on their hides, screaming with pain as the torches burned the roots of their horns, they stampeded, swirling through the Roman troops, setting fires under the camp. At the height of the confusion, Hannibal's army came out, struck rapidly, driving the Romans from their position, and surged triumphantly out of the ravine. Hannibal defeated the Romans again at the lake on Trasimenus, and even more disastrously at Cannae. There was little resistance as he made his way south. Then, with a few miles of the very gates of Rome, Hannibal stopped. Why? Perhaps he was perhaps he had allowed his weary army to rest too long and too well, feasting and enjoying the pleasures of the winter quarters at Capua. The Carthaginians had grown flabby and lost their fighting spirit. Rome had been greatly strengthened by help of her allies, and perhaps Hannibal, with his now inferior force, realized he would have to wait until later for a mass attack and final victory. Still, another reason given for the failure to complete his triumph was Carthage's inability to send the reinforcements needed for a crushing blow. In any case, Hannibal postponed the crucial moment. Campaigned in other parts of Italy and fought a delaying set of encounters throughout the country. 5 years later, when the Roman general Scipio changed the situation by taking the offensive on Africa, Hannibal abandoned in Italy to save Carthage. While there, he was treacherously betrayed, and rather than be put in chains and paraded as a captive through the streets of Rome, he killed himself. This intrepid military genius, the most formidable opponent Rome ever met, and a patriot who was one of the greatest generals of all time, had been unable to keep his oath. He had not taken and destroyed Rome. Well, that was it of this video. So, I have a bit of news. Okay, so I believe that unless I accidentally put this video out already, but I have at least had this video scheduled till Saturday, saying that I would be too tired on that I would be recording that video for Friday night. But I'm not coming back Saturday. That's one. Because like I'm going on another trip from Tuesday to Saturday, not on Monday on the Friday. Then two. I also said in the the video, which I'm gonna probably put this into effect this week. That I will be scaling down my videos from twice, like a day every 2 days, or like every couple of weeks and weekends, about, to one a day every couple of weekends. And like it may take like a bit to get used to that, but I kind of think I need to, because I mean, I thought that it was gonna be a good idea to do what I had planned to do, which was yeah, but, and now the reason why I say that now is because since today's Monday, my goal is to, unless I pre-record other tales, which so unless I pre-record other tales, I will just be getting gaming videos out this weekend, this week rather. So my plan was to pre-record like a whole bunch of weekly tales, which this one's pre-recorded. But I kind of, it's not that I got sidetracked, it's just that I was kind of busy this whole week, and I just forgot. Well, no, like, not that like that I forgot, it's just that I did not quite get a chance to. Anyway, this was just a story of Hannibal. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope you all I'm sorry, and I hope that y'all like this video, as well as subscribe if y'all have not already done that. I'm sorry. And yeah, I shall see y'all in the next video.